It is game time, boys. I got your watch list coming into June 24th, 2019, and it is going to be an exciting one. We got the G20 on Friday, so now the question is going to be, do we have a lot of action up until then? Does the market get volatility? Does the volatility dissipate after? Do we get a deal? Do we not get a deal? These are all very important questions. Then you throw a little bit of Iran, and then you sprinkle on some earnings next week. It is going to get very, very exciting. So we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to get into that, and I'm going to go over the keys for the day and a few option plays to look at. But based on what I'm expecting tomorrow, I think we could be a little bit patient with these plays setting up. And, even off the plays I'm looking at right now, take a look at where the SPY's at. But ultimately, you're seeing a lot of balancing. A lot of things are just staying there right at the top, consolidation. A lot of people are waiting to see what's happening. So again, that G20 does start on Friday and Saturday. That's where all of the trade war and everything between China and the U.S. is getting pushed to. So how that plays out can have a big effect on the market, and a lot of people are waiting for that. So we're going to talk about that. But before I get into that, you guys need to do the most important thing. You need to post your watch list below. Post any stocks you're looking at. If it's not about tomorrow, for the rest of the week, just add context to it and make sure you give a thumbs up on the video. If you guys don't do that, YouTube will show you none of my content, I promise. So make sure you do that and you will be pleasantly surprised. So without further ado though, let us get into the keys for tomorrow. I want to get over this straight to the day, and it kind of makes sense coming off of what we had yesterday. We had that Friday. I said if that did occur where we closed red like we did on Friday, that's the only thing that matters. That signals trouble in the water. It signals some volatility and uncertainty. We saw that. Now we see if we get the Monday close, you get your down Monday, down Friday. But the key is really just seeing how things develop even now with, is the market going to be sensitive coming in from last week or not? And again, there's been positive news developments, and then the fact that there's, economic stuff with the trade war and all that, it gets a little bit convoluted, but that will signal trouble next week if we do get a down Monday. And like I said, trouble next week. So despite being the G20 this week, there is two scenarios where there could be an effect here, that happens before the G20 or on that Friday. But most likely, if there is even a bad Monday, everything that if we do confirm it's not looking good, we're probably going to see the effect after the G20, because G20 is Friday and Saturday. I think tomorrow is just going to be mostly calm, and the historic volume, or the historically low volume, shows that, because we've had this low volume day after day for the last probably 10 days so far, 10 trading days, and that has just been showing the moves aren't there. But that, even again, I said it here, low volume can make the market prone to fake outs on both directions. So this could lead to random pops towards the highs. It could also lead to, when you have low volume, again, at certain levels, the market could quickly move down or up, but it doesn't mean it's really reflective of the move in the longer sense or even in the midterm. But again, I think we're going to be mostly calm, but the market can force the hand, or in a sense, food poisoning. And what I mean by that is that I don't think the market is going to do anything up until the G20, but there is that situation, like it could be the Fed, where the market, if there is any dialogue leading up to G20 and it's not looking positive, and it looks like there's not going to be a deal, and the market sells off prior to G20 big, that could force either a deal or no deal on one of the parties, or it could do something. And I think it's like food poisoning, because it could start digesting now, and if things start slipping before what happens, it's going to kind of come over out of nowhere. I think it's something we have to watch out for, but I don't know how likely, considering a lot of things have been in control so far. But tomorrow, I'm expecting a quiet day. I think if they could get away with not having to do much tomorrow and everything kind of carrying over from last week, they're going to do it. But I'm not expecting too much, but watch out for the main things we've been looking at: oil, Iran, and the trade war, and rates and all that stuff. So those are going to be the main things. Hopefully you guys are ready for that. Now, as far as plays, I want Nordstrom's. That's going to be one of the first ones I'm looking at. Remember, this is still off the buyout rumors, and this should give you a good insight into the types of plays that we want and are looking for tomorrow. They are going to be the ones that kind of, can move with the market, but have their own underlying catalyst that could push them in their own direction. And this is why I even like the value stocks as well. But I'm going to watch Nordstrom's. We still have our calls in that. Keep your eye out for that. The next one I want is Amazon. And, we've been setting morning plays. I did a rollover for this week, but the fact, comparing it to the market and some of the other value stocks, Amazon was moving pretty weird, and even, it just had 3 weeks of just going straight up now, and we want to see how it starts to play out. It looks kind of like this SPY, just not as aggressive. So the fact that the volume, though, has always kind of stayed up on Amazon, I think it's very interesting, but we may even hear more updates. The last biggest piece of news was Buffett buying them, and I think that was important, and the fact that volume has came up since there, it's kind of having my attention here, and I want to keep looking at it. So I like Amazon. Watch out for that. Next up, McDonald's, and again, I showed you in the beginning, there's a lot of these stocks, the value stocks or whatever it may be, they're just holding up and consolidating. McDonald's is fighting at that 205, but now look, the volume picked up. So whenever now McDonald's makes a move, again, a lot of the plays this week will be based on volume and how that plays out. If we see something go crazy there, I think that could be there. I want both. I have the puts. I'm going to see if we can potentially get a call, but I'm really going to use McDonald's as a bellwether. The thing I'm really, all I care about with it is you want to see McDonald's make moves that are really distinctly inverse from the overall market, but keep your eye out for that. I like that one. The next one is Molina. And again, you guys heard this last week, but now this is a lesson even on the option pricing. We bought this on, I believe, Thursday, and Monday, tomorrow, we're going to have the executive order related to the healthcare pricing brought by Donald Trump. So we'll see what happens. But I still like to play regardless. And now, we bought it here on this Thursday, and it shoots up about 3%. But this is the key I want you guys to understand. Where is it? We got these 115 puts, if you guys remember, and, we had the lesson here. Remember, I got filled on one contract at 30 cents, but then I bought two more at 15 cents. I think, 12 cents even. I bought two of them around 12, 15 cents afterwards. There was that little glitch I discussed, but the point is, my cost basis after commission is around 25 cents, and, the bid's at 20, and the last trade was at 25 cents. The stock didn't move, but the fact that it's holding there, this is telling us something. It's the same price, and the stock went up 3%. Does that mean it could have been cheap and that we're in a good position? Yes, but it also means the stock was very, very far out of the money, and that's how some of these far out of the monies move, but it doesn't change the fact, I think, there's going to be volatility and velocity with it that could come into play, and these could be interesting, but again, they are very, very far out of the money. 150 to 115, that's huge, so I'm doing that to scale in, and we want to see if we could push that to the wall and give it time, but I think any of the healthcare stocks tomorrow will be very important, so watch them. Watch Boeing now, too, because they did a little bit yesterday. They gave us some insight. If you notice, the Dow was it was lagging and leading at times, but at a lot of the times during the day, the market would be down, S&P and the NASDAQ, but the Dow would be up. And a lot kind of had to do here with Boeing. Boeing even closed a little harder here, but it wasn't always like that. And it was moving a little bit weird, but watch how it plays, into the overall market. But then now I think there was a class action lawsuit about 400 pilots, 737 MAX 8 pilots who are suing them. But you guys have seen how bad news has affected them. But moving on, I want to also watch Disney. I think they're going to be important, and I talked about them, but Disney brings up, and at the same time, one, look at how they're holding and where they're at. Any of these stocks like these are going to set up opportunities, but again, you guys have to be careful not to get cocked. If we're not expecting a lot tomorrow, you got to be smart. If we did actually hit two of the butterflies, so again, the odds are very low on the butterfly plays, but last week I hit the Tesla, I hit the Boeing, so honestly, I might go for them again because this is what kind of allows us to set up plays in these environments. But you guys got to be very, very patient and don't be too jumpy. But I like Disney. But in response to that, I'm also going to want to watch Netflix, which has, remember, we were bearish at first, and then the volume and what it did here. And then I think Roku started going up competitor-wise, and then it dropped a little bit, but Netflix got kind of really bullish, but they're going to be related. I'd watch both of them. I like both of them, and that's what I'm going to be viewing even tomorrow. So there's that, and then now our two favorites. I said something was going to happen this week. I was kind of right, but mostly wrong, but again, even better because as long as it starts building up, I think Zoom is going to get ready eventually, but I think Zoom got screwed over by Kern in the big pop, but watch this one too. It went up, and it's now surprisingly, this stock, we bought it at $29. It went up to 70 something. Now it's back below there. So I said I'll average down at like $15 if it does go there. I'm not saying it has to go there or it's looking that weak, but I like it. I want to see how it's going to play out, but this will be a wild ride. And lastly, even too, on that same note, Beyond. This play again as you could even see with the market, I want plays that are kind of going to do their own thing, relatively speaking. When we're looking at it, these are going to set you up with some better opportunities when the market does get these cucks. So call those out if you see them and make sure they are viable. So there's that. And then now as far as the plays, again, a lot are going to be the same. I want the Johnson & Johnson, Nordstrom's. I want some of the values. I'm going to be looking at McDonald's, but this is one I put up last week, and I really want to focus on these contracts this week because I just think they're acting so weird. We even got some FedEx news tonight that they want to like cut or lower prices or something like that. But I want to look around the July 19th or even the weekly FedEx is to see. But these are the options I want to start pushing to the wall. I want to get within, either $2 or $5 within the money. It looks like we're going to have to be doing $5 increments on the July 19th, and then we could get away with $2.50 on the weekly. But I think how FedEx and UPS and the transports are going to play out, those are the ones that are going to be watching. And again, this story with McDonald's at the 205, if it does drop lower, that could get curious. And remember, I did put Butterfly on McDonald's, or I think I put spread, so that was the first time. I'm not really a fan of the McDonald's puts, but watching that 205 play, if it does get bullish and go towards 207, that could be very, very bullish. So watch how that low volume comes in. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Get that watch list below. We're going to see you live 30 minutes before open. I hope you guys are ready, and let's go! That was a weird let's go.